Attention passionate Detroit, Lions fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Detroit Lions' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Detroit Lions fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Detroit Lions fans. Let's get to the news now, folks. If you've been paying close attention to the NFL landscape lately, you know that the Detroit Lions are not just another team trying to scrape into the playoffs anymore. No, this franchise has been building something special, something that could very well culminate in a deep postseason run in 2025. And I mean, deep as in a serious shot at the Super Bowl. But as always, no team is perfect, and there are some intriguing moves and rumors swirling around that could potentially catapult Detroit even further. One of the biggest stories right now, and I promise, it's a game changer, involves a blockbuster trade proposal that could reshape the Lions' defense for years to come. So, what exactly are we talking about? Well, it's all centered around a superstar defender, someone who's been making waves in the NFL with his relentless pass-rushing skills. This player is none other than Trey Hendrickson, the four-time Pro Bowler and one of the most feared edge rushers in the league today. Hendrickson, who's currently embroiled in a contract dispute with the Cincinnati Bengals, might be on his way out. And if the Detroit Lions can make it happen, they'd be adding a player who could transform their defense into one of the most formidable units in the NFL. Imagine Aiden Hutchinson teaming up with Hendrickson, creating a duo that offensive lines just can't handle. That kind of combination, my friends, is what defenses dream of. But let's back up a bit and look at the bigger picture. The Lions, under head coach Dan Campbell, have been steadily climbing the ranks. They've shown resilience, grit, and a clear understanding of what it takes to compete at the highest level. Their offense, led by Jared Goff, has become one of the most balanced in the league, with weapons like Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jahmyr Gibbs providing ample firepower. But defense wins championships, as they say, and that's where Detroit has been focusing their attention in recent seasons. They've made significant investments in their secondary and linebacker core, but the pass rush has remained somewhat inconsistent, especially after moving on from Za'Darius Smith earlier this offseason. Now here's where it gets particularly interesting. Detroit could be looking at a scenario where they bring back Smith to pair with Hutchinson, creating a formidable duo on the edge. But sources and analysts, like Gary Davenport from Bleacher Report, suggest that the Lions are eyeing something even bigger. The trade for Hendrickson is not just a rumor, it's a serious possibility, especially given the current contract dispute that the Bengals are facing. Hendrickson's situation is a classic example of a player who's been clear about his worth. He's in the final year of his contract, and after 2 consecutive seasons with over 17.5 sacks, he's not just looking for a paycheck. He wants to be paid like the elite pass rusher he's proven to be. And Davenport has even gone as far as projecting what a contract extension for Hendrickson could look like, an eye-popping sum of around $103.5 million over 3 seasons, with about $74.5 million guaranteed. That averages out to roughly $34.5 million per year, which is a hefty price tag, but in today's NFL, where pass rushers are the most valuable assets on defense, it's not out of the realm of possibility. Hendrickson's agent will be making sure he gets every penny of that, especially considering his recent production and the fact that he's been a consistent double-digit sack artist over the last few years. This situation with Hendrickson is a ticking time bomb. The Bengals have been trying to negotiate with him all offseason, but with no agreement in sight and Hendrickson publicly hinting at holding out if he doesn't secure a new deal soon, Cincinnati might be forced to pull the trigger on a trade. And Detroit, with its recent defensive upgrades and the opportunity to add a proven star, could be the perfect landing spot. The Lions' defense, which has been trending upward, would instantly become one of the most dangerous units in the league with Hendrickson on the edge. Now, think about the potential impact on Detroit's Super Bowl ambitions. This isn't just about adding a player, it's about elevating the entire defense to a different level. Hendrickson's ability to rush the passer from the right side, combined with Hutchinson's emerging talent on the left, could create a nightmare for opposing quarterbacks. It would give Detroit one of the most potent pass-rushing duos in the NFL, capable of consistently pressuring the pocket and forcing turnovers. That kind of pressure can change games, especially in the playoffs, where every possession counts. But acquiring Hendrickson isn't going to be cheap or easy. The Lions will have to part with draft capital and, of course, commit to that mega contract. And there's always the question of cap space, which Detroit has been managing very carefully in recent seasons. Still, General Manager Brad Holmes has proven to be a shrewd negotiator and talent evaluator, and he's not afraid to make bold moves when he believes it's the right time. If he can pull off this trade, it would be a statement to the entire league that the Lions are serious contenders, not just in 2024, but in the foreseeable future. Let's take a quick moment here to reflect on how this all fits into the bigger picture. The NFC North has been a competitive division for years. The Green Bay Packers, once dominant, are rebuilding. The Minnesota Vikings have been inconsistent but dangerous, and the Chicago Bears are still in a phase of development. For Detroit, the opportunity to seize control and become the division's powerhouse is right there in front of them. They've already shown they can beat top teams, and adding a player like Hendrickson would send a message to everyone that Detroit is all in on a Super Bowl run. Now, I want to give you some background on Hendrickson's career to really appreciate what he brings to the table. Drafted in the third round back in 2017 by the New Orleans Saints, Hendrickson made a quiet impact initially, but it was his move to Cincinnati in 2021 that really unlocked his potential. Since then, he's been a key piece of that Bengals defense, especially in their Super Bowl run 2 seasons ago. His relentless motor, combined with his ability to set the edge and collapse the pocket, makes him a nightmare for offensive linemen. Over the last 2 seasons, he's been a consistent double-digit sack threat, and his ability to generate pressure has been instrumental in Cincinnati's defensive success. What's particularly interesting is how Hendrickson's style complements Hutchinson's. Aiden is more of a versatile edge rusher, capable of lining up inside or outside, while Hendrickson specializes in pure pass rushing from the edge. Together, they could form one of the most dynamic duos in the league, forcing quarterbacks to make decisions faster than they want to. That kind of pressure often leads to turnovers, tipped balls, sacks, and ultimately wins. But beyond just the on-field impact, adding a high-profile star like Hendrickson would also boost the Lions' locker room and confidence. Young players look up to veterans, and Hendrickson's work ethic and proven production could serve as a morale booster for the entire defense. And it's not just about one player, it's about sending a message that Detroit is all in this season and beyond, aiming for nothing less than a Super Bowl title. Of course, there are hurdles. The Lions will have to balance their cap, negotiate with Hendrickson's camp, and perhaps even give up some future draft picks. But the potential reward, a dominant, fearsome pass rush, could be worth it. Plus, with the current NFL climate emphasizing the importance of elite pass rushers, Detroit's front office may see this as a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to elevate their defense to a championship level. Now, looking ahead, if this trade materializes, it could set off a domino effect across the league. Other contenders will be watching closely, and it could inspire a wave of aggressive moves. For Detroit, it's about seizing that moment, showing they're serious contenders, and making a statement that they're here to stay at the top of the NFC. And honestly, Lions fans, I don't think anyone would complain about adding another superstar to this already promising roster. As we wrap up, I want to remind you of how important these moves are for the franchise's future. The Lions have been rebuilding for years, accumulating draft picks, developing young talent, and establishing a strong team culture. Now, with an eye on the Super Bowl, every decision counts. Acquiring Hendrickson would not only strengthen the defense immediately, but also send a message that Detroit is ready to compete with the best in the league. It would be a bold statement, a sign of ambition, and a step closer to realizing the dream of a Super Bowl victory that Lions fans have been waiting for decades. And now, Detroit Lions fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Do you believe the Lions should go all in for Hendrickson? Do you think they have the cap space and draft capital to make this happen? Or are there other players or strategies you think they should pursue? Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Detroit Lions. Remember, this is a community, a family of passionate fans who want to see their team succeed. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Detroit Lions news. This season, everything is on the table, and with moves like these, the sky's the limit. Let's keep that hope alive, and let's keep believing that the best is yet to come for Detroit.